We have here with us Wendy Ng. She is the CEO of Bloomdale. Now, Wendy, tell us a little bit more about yourself and what motivated you to take over your family business.
Well, I started in banking actually, but ever since I was a kid, I've been in my dad's office just playing around. So what started me in the business was actually an unfortunate turn of events. My dad had actually turned ill quite suddenly, so I was pretty much thrown into the deep end, and I just had to pick up the pieces because he passed away pretty soon after he got ill. So I was 25 at that time, and I pretty much just went into the business and just did what I could by picking up the pieces and rolling with it, really.
Right. So what are the first few things that you did when you took over?
I think the first thing was to just understand as much as possible about the business, what needs to be done, and then because of my banking background, I wanted to apply some of these good practices in an MNC into the SME. So I was trying to identify where the gaps are and where we can work more efficiently. So that was my first goal, to just streamline the processes to make us more savvy, more efficient.
I see. So what were some of your challenges when you took over? Was it something that you expected, or it was like, oh, there's so much more to do?
Well, there's definitely a lot to do, but that's part of the fun of it. I think the greatest challenge was really being young, rather inexperienced, and I think at the time, maybe even now, being a woman was not very common in that industry. So although we deal with flowers, our main competitors are actually men.
Right.
So our main competitors, they're run by men. Our vendors are men. So when they see, oh, you're just a young girl, what do you know? There was a lot of that. So I got a lot of negative comments like, oh, you're just a girl. Are you sure you know what you're doing? But I think instead of feeling defeated by that, I think that kind of spurred me on to prove everyone wrong, that it's not about gender or age, it's just about whether you're willing to work hard and get things going.
What was the worst comment that you ever received from anyone about you being a girl?
I think it came from a competitor.
Right.
He called me up shortly after my dad passed away, and he said, you're just a girl, maybe you should give up on the business, you should just go find a husband and get married. I thought that was the most sexist thing anyone could say.
So how did you respond to that? Were you like dumbfounded? It's like, anyone say this? Or how did you approach that?
I mean, on hindsight, I wish I was more assertive in my response to him, but I think at that time, I just decided to be equanimous. I just ignored the comment and I just decided let the work show for itself.
I see. Fantastic job that you have done.
Thank you.
You have pretty much transformed the traditional business to, today Bloomdale is it's quite savvy, it's techy. You go online, you can buy your flowers and gifts. Share with us your experience on this, on digitalizing the business, and to make the workflow so seamless, such that you can operate without retail shops,
I think for me, I think it always starts with a vision. And what I really wanted was for our customers to have fun shopping with us. I wanted to have a bespoke shopping experience where they can earn rewards as they buy from us. They can do instant cash rebates on our website, customize their orders, and also have access to a personalized calendar reminder service. And I wanted them to be able to do this anytime, anywhere, without having to go to a shop or stand in line or wait for a hotline to be ready. So anywhere there's an internet connection, they could access that. So that was my vision. And with a clear concept in mind, I went on to find a technology solution that could match our requirements. So this involves talking to a few vendors and trying to see who best fits our requirements. But I think the greatest challenge, and I think the most important of this entire process really is internal employee buy-in.
Wow.
Because as you know, we were a traditional business, and they have been used to doing things a certain way for 20 years. So it's about convincing them to do away with the old habits and embracing technology, reassuring them that the technology is not here to replace them, but to enhance their work processes, make it easier for them to do their work.
So you managed to get the buy-in now?
Yeah, I mean,
after some time.
Yes,
with
of
training.
course. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes training, and takes convincing. But I'm really glad we're there now.
So what would be your advice to entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs
Yeah.
who wants to create an e-commerce business? Because it is indeed a very competitive market, so to speak. So anyone can set up e-commerce stores
Right.
away. So
Yes.
what will be the key important factors that one should take note of?
I think having a differentiating product or an experience is really helpful.
Okay.
You're right, there's so many e-commerce sites, and that's why when we were building our own, we wanted to put in as much customization options, as much bespoke experiences as possible, so that it's not just an add to cart and checkout experience. So someone who's looking to set up an e-commerce business, they don't have to do the same as us, because it really depends on what your product is. But I think the key thing is to find one way in which you can differentiate yourself from your competitor.
Okay, so how did you manage to differentiate yourself from your competitors, especially the one who gave the snide remarks? So how did you do it? Yeah.
I think I just do what I like, which is well, I enjoy design anyway on my own. I like fashion, I like design. So I draw a lot of inspiration from my travels around the world. I look at different ways of where bouquets are presented, different ways in which gifts are being given. So I think I bring a bit of a unique perspective into the way our gifts are being done, or the way we shop, for example. So I really like the features on our e-commerce store now, because you can do so much. Even if you're not buying from us, you can do so much. You can log in. We have a calendar in which you can key in, like, say, important dates of someone, of your mom, your sister, your wife, or something, and we would send you a reminder closer to dates. So that is like an value-added service that we give. You can customize the flowers, you can change the colors or the number of stocks, or even decide what you want, decide the components you want in your gift basket. So I think it's just an endless possibility. It's almost like going to a real store and having someone give you a bespoke experience, but this time with the convenience of being able to do it at the comfort of your home. Anytime. You could be halfway around the world. So long as there's an internet connection, you're able to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what will be your advice to young entrepreneurs who want to take over the family traditional business, and they have been around for many years doing things the old way, and then they take over, they're going to face a lot of inertia. What will be your advice to them then?
I think one of the greatest challenge is always living in your parents' shadow, because personally, I got a lot of that as well when I was running the business initially. I got a lot of comments like, "Oh, your dad would not have done it this way. We didn't used to do it this way because your dad did it that way."
Yes.
And I can understand, because when someone has been doing something for so many years, of course they're not going to be able to change right away. But I think if you are convicted of your method, and if you have patience to just push through it, I think it's possible for your ideas to come through. And don't be defeated if you feel like someone is saying that, "Oh, your dad is better than you," or "Your mom is better than you." The thing is, they did start the business, so obviously they are going to be better and more experienced than you at it. But don't let that defeat you. Just carry on and do what you can.
Right. Okay, fantastic. Also, so Wendy, you were talking about your father. So did he influence you in any ways in terms of leadership and management?
Yes. So my dad had a very stern demeanor. And he's been known for employees to speak in harsh tones every time he walked past.
Wow.
But deep inside, he was actually very soft-hearted, and he had a genuine concern for the welfare of our staff. So while my leadership style is a lot more relaxed compared to my dad, he has certainly influenced me to lead with compassion and empathy. So I try to bring the best out of each employee and always leave room for second chances.
Wow, fantastic. So does it help being in a family business, right? Wherein your family members will be quite, I believe, will be quite supportive of what you do.
Yeah.
But what do you think, is missing and there should be present whenever women aspire to be entrepreneurs? What should be present? A support system or anything like that? Yeah.
I think not just for women, I think for anyone who's trying to start a business, it's always difficult. I think having the support of your family and your friends is important, because you are going to put in some crazy hours sometimes.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to meet your friends sometimes.
Yep.
Personally for me, when friends say, hey, let's go on a Christmas ski holiday, and I'm like, Christmas is my busiest time, I can't go away.
Yeah, because
so
festive season.
Exactly. So there's always going to be sacrifices to be made, and it helps if your friends understand that and not give you too much peer pressure on your lack of social life. Family is really important, I think, because there will always be down moments. Entrepreneurship is a long journey. You might fall along the way, and I think family is important for you to be there so that you don't give up and you have the resilience to want to carry on and push through all the challenges.
Wow. What was your lowest moment then, if you ever faced one?
I don't think there's one particular low moment, but I think along the way, of course, especially in the beginning, because there were so many naysayers, my staff were like, are you sure you know what you're doing? Because I had all these changes I wanted to make, to make it more modern. And they were like, this is not how we used to do things. And then, of course, the competitors, like I mentioned earlier, they gave really snide remarks. Coming from vendors, it was not easy dealing with them as well, because again, they were like, we used to deal with your father. We're not sure we want to deal with you now.
Wow.
So it's difficult. So I would say the first year was probably the toughest, because it was having to fight so many battles at once. My own emotional my own emotions, because I had to deal with my dad passing. I had to learn so many things about the business and still deal with everyone being so negative about it. But I think what I've been really lucky with at that time was my family, my mom, my sister were very, very supportive. I also had a very good group of friends who were there for me, and I think that really helped me to push through, and now I'm here, I'm happy, and the business is doing well. So I think it's not impossible to push through challenges if you just have resilience, grit, and good confidence in yourself.
Yeah, resilience, grit, and confidence. I think these are 3 key points that you've shared today, which is very important for any entrepreneur to have. So you will have setbacks as and when, right? But you still have to push through. And thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing with us all of your insights, your experience, your strategies. Greatly appreciate it. Now, if you'd like to meet Wendy in person, do join us at H.E.R Asia Summit on the 26th of September, and we'll see you there.